plan out some code for a temperature converter in Python, and then we'll build the actual temperature converter. So what we want is, to start out, we want to ask the user for Fahrenheit or Celsius converter. So we want to say, do you want to do input a Fahrenheit temperature and return a Celsius, or do you want to input a Celsius and return a Fahrenheit? So we need to know which of those conversions do you want to do. After that, I want the code to tell me what mode we selected. And then I want to ask the user for the temperature. So we say, all right, what's the temperature? And then, so the user's already said, like, they've already defined, I want to do Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the computer's going to say, all right, you selected either Fahrenheit to Celsius or you selected Celsius to Fahrenheit. What temperature do you want to convert? And then the code returns the converted temperature. So say, what is the temperature you want? So let's put little arrows here. So kind of starting at the top and going downwards. So then at the end, after you get the converted temp, we'd like it to ask the user, do you want to run this again? And then if it does run again, we'd like it to cycle back around to the top. So we want to say, you know, to the user, does this run again? Maybe you have like 4 temperatures you want to do, and you don't want to have to rerun the code each time. So this right here is going to be the basic little flow chart of what we're trying to make. Ask the user which converter do you want, Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit. Then just the code gives you a heads up what you selected. Says, okay, what temperature do you want to convert? Then we return the converted temperature. And do you want to run the code again, yes or no? So this is going to be our overall plan of what we're trying to do, and let's go through and get the individual parts working on this thing in Python. So we got Python open. Let's see. Let's kind of get stuff around here. First, I'm going to make the code runs again. So run the code again part. I'm going to deal with that first. So let's see here. I'm going to make a variable called again. Actually, and let's set again equal to lowercase y. And then we're going to start a while loop. So the while loop's going to be what keeps looping this thing over again. So in the while loop, while again is equal to lowercase y, I want the code, I want what's under here to run. And what I'm going to have run is basically, we're going to have the rest of the code there, and then the end of the code, we're going to ask the user, so let's say we're going to ask the user to give a value that we're going to store as the again variable, and we'll say input, we'll say run the code again, the question mark, oops, I need to put quotations here. Run the code again, and we'll say y/n. I'll put a little colon after it with the space. So when I run my code, what I'm expecting to have happen is it's just going to say run the code again, yes or no, and then I'll choose one and it'll keep running, it'll keep asking me this question over and over again as long as I press Y, and if I press an N, then it'll stop asking me the question. So let me save this as temp converter. Store that in the engineering. Sure. Okay, so let me run this code. Oh, great. Oh, when you use equal in code, this is assigning the, again, equal to Y. What I need to do is compare is again equal to Y. So I'm going to use double equal to compare the again variable and see if it equals Y. Okay, so run the code again, sure. And run the code again, yes. Run the code again, yes. Run the code again, no. And then it gives me back these little 3 arrows. So this is working good where it's just asking me to run the code again. Let's go ahead and see if we want Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Let's do the prompt for that. So let's call that mode. So mode equals input, let's say type F for, oops, so I put these all in quotation marks so it's text. So type F for Fahrenheit to Celsius. To Celsius. Type C for Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Okay, let's take a look at what this does now. So run our code. So type F for Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion, type C for Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. We'll type F, run the code again, sure. And then we can type C, run the code again, no, and it stops. So what we need to do now is, now that we have the variable F or C is being stored in the mode, we need to use if state, or we don't need to, but we can use if statements to do the to tell what mode is selected. Then we'll go through and we'll ask the user temperature, and then we'll have the code returns the converted temperature, and then we'll check our work. So if let's see here, if mode is equal to F, if mode is equal to F, then I want to print the words you have selected. You have selected Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion, which I'm just going to copy paste that. And if the mode is equal to C, I want the code to return you have selected Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. And let's see if this works. Oops, mode. All right, so we run our code. Oops, invalid syntax. Maybe I need a colon after these ifs. If not, I'll have to look it up real quick. Okay, so type Fahrenheit to F for Fahrenheit to Celsius, C for Celsius to Fahrenheit. So let's type F. You have selected Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion. Run the code again, sure. Type F for Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion, C for Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's type C this time. You have selected Fahrenheit to Celsius. You have selected Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Run the code again, no. And then let me run the code again because the Celsius to Fahrenheit was stuck too close to each other. Oh, great, now I can't see where we are. Okay, so now we're down here. Let's say C, select the Celsius to Fahrenheit. Yes, run it again. F, Fahrenheit to Celsius. Stop running our code. Okay, so we got the this part done here. We have the computer returning a mode. Now we just need, in each of those things, we need to ask the user for the corresponding temperature. So let's, in this if statement, let's make a thing called ftemp, or I guess let's call it ftemp. And ftemp is going to be, we're going to ask the user to enter the Fahrenheit temperature. And then down here for ctemp, we're defining a variable ctemp. We want to input enter the Celsius temperature. Okay, so let's run our code one more time, see what's going on. Okay, let's say F. You have selected Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion. Enter the Fahrenheit temperature, let's say 70. Run the code again, sure. F for Fahrenheit to Celsius, C for Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's type C this time. Selected Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Enter the Celsius temperature, say 20. Run the code again. So okay, we got ask the user temperature. That is working out correctly. Oh yeah, we also have the run again part done. So all I need to do is now look up the Fahrenheit and Celsius equations and the Celsius to Fahrenheit equation, and then I can have the equation run, and we'll save them as a different variable. Write the equation here, and then we just need to print back the converted equation. So let's pull up some of the. Let's see here, Fahrenheit equation. See if we can get those here. Just give me the actual equation. Here we go. Okay, so temperature Celsius equals temperature Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9. Okay, that sounds familiar. So let's see here. Let's say this is Celsius converted. That'll be the Celsius temperature. This equals the Fahrenheit temperature. Fahrenheit temperature variable minus 32. All that multiplied by 5 and then divided by 9. And we want to print the C converted. Or let's see here, we want to print the Celsius temperature Celsius temperature is, and then we should be able to just put C converted. Okay, and then we'll try doing another thing. Let's say F converted. And this will equal, if you want to go from, let's see, Fahrenheit to Celsius. Oh, we want to do the reverse now. So let's see, convert C to F equation. And this will be the Celsius temperature times 9/5 plus 32. So this will be Celsius temperature. So it's Celsius temperature times 9/5 plus 32. And then what we want to do is we want to print the Fahrenheit temperature is the F converted. I think this is going to work. I guess let's run it and then let's check it against a you know, Google or something, some other place to make sure that it's working correctly. So let's run our code. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to type F for Fahrenheit conversion, C for Celsius. So let's type F for Fahrenheit. You have selected Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion. Enter the Fahrenheit temperature. Let's say it's 70 degrees. And now bad things happen. C converted equals F temp minus 32 times 5/9. Unsupported types for minus string and int. Oh, okay. F temp, that was text. So I think I need to convert, I think right here, this is string type because it's characters that you typed in, and Python's not recognizing that as a number. So I think if I type int, so convert the ftemp string over to integers, I think that'll fix it, and I think we're gonna have to do the same thing down here with ctemp. Let's see, let's try running that again. Okay, F for Fahrenheit, enter the Fahrenheit temperature, 70. Okay, Celsius temperature is 21.1111. Let's see. Alright, so let's see here. We got Fahrenheit to Celsius. Fahrenheit is 70. Celsius is 21.111. So that looks good. Let's see if we type a Celsius temperature of 50 in. Fahrenheit's 122. So let's run this code again. Run the code again. Yes. This time I want to do Celsius. So you selected Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Enter the Celsius temperature. Celsius temperature is 50. Fahrenheit temperature is 122. That's what we expect happen. So run the code again. No, I think we're good here. So our code's working correctly. We now built a temperature converter that can, you know, ask us what we want, which conversion type we want, and then we can put the temperature in and it'll convert it over for us. So I think that's probably a good place to stop on this.